Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Island T right here on Win Media SKN. I'm Azem. This is Jade.
Yes.
And as we stated just before we went to the break, we have an icon.
An icon, yes. I was trying to figure out the words yesterday to use on the flyer. They were very difficult because I want people to understand the weight that he holds in the sports community and in the community overall.
Jade, since I small, I hear his man.
Me too. Listen, my brother used to play for him. I don't know if you know my brother is Akian. Yeah, so I know. I used to go to watch basketball. I remember I was a kid. I used to watch a lot of basketball.
Yeah, he wasn't going to watch your brother though, but okay.
Yes, I was.
But guys, we have in studio with us the man himself, James Barman Hanley. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Morning. Good morning to all in radio land and internet land. Who are in tune this program.
I just want to say it's a real pleasure to have you in the studio with us. And really appreciate you just taking the time to come out and hang out with us, man.
Well, once the time is there and I'm able, I'll come.
Well, we just really want to take some time and talk about you, because a lot of times we hear about persons, we interact with persons, and we don't actually know a lot about them outside of just whatever we build up in our minds, But how would you introduce yourself, to people? Who is Barman?
A very simple individual. Well, let me see if I can give some history. I've been involved in community work since about 1974. I don't think none of you were
Well, Azim was alive, but not me.
Yeah, I'm actually 786.
Yeah, he was.
1974, when there used to be a lot of community youth groups around, doing a lot of things for the love of it. Not like today, every time you ask someone to do something, they need money. So we had our group, Harmonize Youth Club, 1974, and we were involved in a lot of different community self-help projects. As a matter of fact, my involvement in basketball started around 1977, when I was involved in the building of the first self-help basketball facility at Dorset Park. It was Harmonites, Youth Club, Zero Nights, Higher Grounds, and there was another, I think, Industrious Youth Club. And it was a project funded by the government of St. Kitts Nevis, the British Development, and USAID. And we did that. We did a lot of work on that. It took quite a while to be done. And following the opening of the code in 1980, my group started a junior basketball program in 1980. And from there on, my involvement in the direct basketball started. I went out at the National League. I started doing some scoring and so forth and assisting. And at that time, the basketball was going through some real difficulties. I remember being asked by Pat Richards, who was then the secretary, to assist. And eventually I became president of the Basketball Association. And, my whole involvement in the basketball just took off like that.
Okay, so this is interesting to me now, because there are people who we associate with sports, right?
Mm-hmm.
And generally, the story starts from a passion at a young age, maybe playing the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Was that your experience?
No. I've always been one to sort of assist with organizing. Like I told you, we had this youth group, and that time we were involved in a lot of stuff. we'll invite people to come and lecture to us, speak about various topics. And there's my involvement. I played a bit, not to any sort of standard. Right? So the passion there, we built it, and at that time, there was no avenue for the youngsters. So we started the very first junior basketball tournament at Dorset Park in 1980.
So your involvement in, as you know, as the year passed now, you've become synonymous with basketball in St. Kitts.
Yeah.
Right? And so you're telling me that started not out of a love so much for basketball itself, but for community and for youth development.
Community and youth development.
Okay.
I mean, I've been around, and I can tell you, I mean, my team, we have won a lot of championships, but that's not my greatest feeling. I like to see when fellas, players, youngsters succeed. So my greatest achievement really seen quite a number of players who have gotten scholarships and gone to further their life, you know, and make something out of it. Not that, yes, the championships are great. We have won 19 championships in my team. But,
hold on. You're just casually just saying, yeah, I mean, we got 19.
19,
but, you know.
Yeah, but, you know, like I said, I like to see young people achieve. And if through basketball we're able to give some people scholarships, I like that, because, you know, poor people not going to be able to get the money easily to go on a scholarship. As a matter of fact, I was very pleasant last week, Monday, one of my former players who went on a scholarship, he came home a few days for his dad, and I said, but you know, I miss a lot of people, and he told me, I felt so good, he told me, listen, once I saw you, it was all right.
Yeah.
You know, you get that kind of, that kind of stuff. So that's really my love for it, for people.
Yeah, I mean, but you said that you would have worked your way up just from being involved in the association up to being, you know, even president of the association.
As a matter of fact, talking about working, I remember we started, the local association, we had a trust to get basketball in the regional scene. And I became, I think it was 1984. I became president, the first president of the Leeward Islands Basketball Association.
Wow.
In 1984, I mean, there was nothing happening in the sub-region. And we met, I remember we had our first meeting here, and then we went to Antigua, we trashed it out, we came with the constitution and so forth. So it runs deep.
Yeah, I mean, your involvement, I don't think anyone can question it. And I mean, over the years, we would have seen basketball become more and more popular, I would say. And I think maybe there's been some times when it's been higher, maybe a little lower.
Yes.
There's some ebbs and flows.
At the moment, is not as high because you know, a lot of different variables and so forth. But I believe once you can provide for the youngsters, right, like I said, they see an avenue there where they can progress, they'll come to it. I mean, the past couple of years have not been pretty good for the basketball, especially, I mean, a lot of players here, they gravitate towards having a competition. You know, because of the coronas for the past 2 years, we haven't had a completed league.
Right.
You know, it's really, and I mean, players, they're coming at you all the time. When the league gonna finish? The league gonna finish? But we are at the peril of the NEOC giving us the permission to
host games.
To host games. You know, it's not been easy out there.
Wow. I could imagine, and the thing for me, I keep saying it even with music, that's the reason why we get involved in these things. People want to play, you want to perform, you want to. That is the love. That's where the passion comes from.
I mean, if you check social media, you see there's a lot of different small competitions playing outside the basketball. Every weekend there's something in Sandy Point. There's in Cairn, but in terms of the National League,
right?
You know, we haven't been able to done that last year. Because of the surge and so forth, we stopped again, and you know, from that we still have that league to complete.
Wow.
Well, besides Corona being a factor, what do you think the league is missing? What do you think the league needs in order for it to get to the level that maybe, let's say, not basketball, football and cricket is at? What do you think is missing? Well,
it's a level of commitment also. In in the 70s and 80s, early 90s, you didn't have so much of distractions, right? Social media, fellas have their Nintendo, whatever they call it, and so forth. And players, you didn't have to ask players to come practice.
Right.
Fellas would finish. I mean, I live close to Dorset Park, and fellas would finish playing in the afternoon. They go home, bathe the skin, they come back and they play again.
Right.
Right. You had that level of commitment. The other thing too, I don't think we've had a good takeoff in the schools basketball.
Yeah, I think that's a real weak point.
Right.
The inter-school basketball leagues is.
I can tell you, before you had coaches at the sports department, the schools league used to be the thing. Days where we got players from.
Yeah.
You had those days. You had committed teachers, so to speak, and these teachers, you know, they used to have their house matches. I mean, when you go up to Bastille high in the afternoon, you see fellas, people leaving town walk to come to see those house matches.
Yeah, man.
Right, and we need to get back into that sort of frame. It must be in the school, because youngsters, if you start them at an early age, it will take off. Because you don't force them to play basketball, cricket, or football. You give them the choice, and at that early age, they will gravitate to which one they like.
Yeah, I think part of the thing too that I recognize when it comes to sports in the schools is that at that age, when someone is athletic, they could play anything, they could do anything.
Anything
They're
they
just
can
athletic.
do. Yeah.
And so they'll develop passions based on the experimentation with the different events and the different thing. But also, what I think puts us at a disadvantage when you don't have that, even persons with the natural talent, who they would not have had the amount of time and years on the court that some of the persons they're competing against would have had. And so you're at a disadvantage, even though you might have actual more talent.
Talent, yes. And time is important, because, I mean, the more you play, I mean, I've seen players, I mean, I can tell you one player, Glenn Ghost Phillip, when, I mean, he was one of, the top players in singing his time. But I remember when he came to play with hitters, I mean, fellas just abused it. Like, you know, the fans and say, "What are you doing with he? Where you go, yo. You know, because he would then, he developed and be a top player.
Imagine that.
Ghost got a scholarship. And he went off. And to me, I'm speaking for James Hanley, to me, he's the most knowledgeable person in things in terms of actually coaching the basketball, teaching it. Right. He knows it, he break it down, and he does a good job. And this is what I like to see. You know, I would like more players, those who have played the game before. You didn't have to go to college, but who played the game before, to come back and assist. Because what is also lacking to is a lot of leadership. Because the teams, you can see the outstanding teams because they have a sort of base. But if we can get persons who have played before coming back and assisting these clubs and so forth, because it's difficult for you to get a club this year and then next year it's not there. Somebody just decide, you know, yeah, and so forth. One of the trusts that the local association coming shortly is the 3-and-3 tournament, because that's going to be big, right? That I think the international body right now is looking at 3-and-3 tournaments, because we may not I don't think we'll be able to go on the international level as a country in terms of the 5-and-5, but the 3-and-3,
right.
There's several different qualifying tournaments, right? And if we can get that going, right now there's some training going on with some of the players. There's some rules and so forth, and like I said, the international body, they're kind of gravitating towards that because you get more players exposed.
Right, exactly.
So very shortly, as soon as we get all this permission and support, you're going to see we're going to have street tournaments. That is what I mean. I was on a webinar with the president the other day, and you know the trust is towards the 3-and-3, well organized. I mean, good sponsorship and so forth. So things like that, you know, would then bring back people to the general basketball sports.
Yeah, I think it's important for us to really recognize that, because what I'm hearing is there's an actual strategy as to the direction in which we want to take basketball and move basketball forward. And so with that being the case, I mean, I really look forward to there being some positive outcomes out of that. I'm being competitive because what you're saying is, now that you've said it, it's like, it just seems so obvious.
Yeah, we want to get the sport competitive, because what would happen? You see, whenever you have these little tournaments and so forth, you get scouts coming out, and they would look for folks and so forth. And hey, let me tell you, if you have a tournament and you can get one person on a scholarship, that'll be great for me personally.
Right.
Personally,
Of course.
because like I say, I want to see young people progress, and you go out there because of your ability to play the sport. You'll be able to go and knock your school come with it also.
Right.
So that's another thing I've always preached to, even though we have a junior team, say, listen, stay in school. You have more time in school, more time out of school than in school. So you go to school, you try and you do your work and so forth. So when they call for you, I want Mr. X, you have everything ready, so you can move on.
Yeah, for sure. And that is something that I think we need to highlight, the amount of opportunities that we have in basketball.
Let me tell you something, right? The other day, Tommy Farmer play, not Farmer players, the persons went out there, they called me because there was this coach. He was looking for some tall girls. Right? Some tall girls. I'm looking around and can't see them because the coach, he told me that, listen, he'll train them. Yeah. Because there's a lot of scouts for females, especially too,
But female basketball has been blowing up over the last few years.
Female, there's a lot of scope there for it.
Especially in college.
Especially in college, and I'm saying that once we get into the school and you get people liking the game and they play it, and because they always ask for video, right? The coach asks for video because sometimes you don't want to be biased and say, well, George is good. Send the video, and the coaches make their own assessment to it. So a lot is there. Not only in basketball, general sports, football, whatever, right? But we're saying that things must be put in place. We started from the school level, and we come up, and you go international level, and what's not, and it'll all be good.
Yeah. A lot of what you're talking about in terms of the strategy, organizing some of these tournaments, I imagine a lot of that is kind of spearheaded by the local association.
Yes, the local association, as a matter of fact, 4 years ago, we had election. Election is due this year for the association, but again, with all this thing, we don't know what will happen. And the association had some good plans. The first 2 years, we could have actually seen the basketball, the crowds were getting back, the competition, and we're getting there, but then, bam, Corona. Yeah. And everything just went their way. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I think a lot of things suffering that fate. But with the government sports department and thing, do you believe that there is a prioritization of basketball within the sports department?
I wouldn't say there's a prioritization. My thing is that you have basketball coaches there at the sports department. No offense meant, but I don't think the program is such that the youngsters are seeing it. I've spoken to the new acting director, the new director, Mrs. Morton, and tell them, listen, we need to have a structure. You have coaches out there, they need to go and do it. They don't want to do the work, well, let them go. Right? Because if you have persons there, you're playing, they must go out there. I know one coach, who's been trying to develop his own individual acumen. Ansel Weaver, and he have done a lot of courses because you see we get these courses.
Ansel one time.
Yeah, we get these courses sent out, right? We've done a lot of virtual courses since the pandemic and so forth. And I've told them, just be involved, just get the courses because they're recognized by the international body.
Right.
Exactly. And if you go and do it, as a matter of fact, we have I think 3 young ladies that did this course. The name don't come to mind right now, but their job was to go out and run programs for the youths. Right, female and male. I know the lady, Jaquita in Nevis, she already started a program, right, in sort of getting the youngsters ready. They send us balls and what's not. So when you get involved in these training programs, you'll get facilities, you'll get things. In the same thing I was speaking to you about the 3-and-3. They're willing to assist us with the equipment, balls, etc.
Okay. So the opportunities is there. We just need the structure, and the commitment from the people involved.
Not only that, we need committed people and management also. And I said, we know what in my mouth. It doesn't make sense that one come and say, they want to be men and the management are not working. It's not a paid job. So taking the position is not paid for. So you gotta come with that intent that you want to do good.
Right.
You want to assist people, and if you don't have that, just to say just don't bother come.
Right.
Simple.
Yeah. I mean, the time is fast running out, and we're gonna have to leave shortly. But one question that I know, if I don't ask this question, then I can't walk on the street. For years, people have been talking about a home for basketball. So, what is needed, and how do we get it?
I believe it will enhance the product if we get an indoor facility.
For sure.
What is happening right over the years, when I was president of the association, I mean, you pay some money to advertise your games, promise your income. Mm-hmm. I mean, the radio station not giving you back your money. Yeah. They done the job to advertise the game.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right? I believe we get an indoor facility, it will surely enhance the whole overall development of basketball. Because then, when a Saturday morning comes, you can have youth jamboree, youth tournaments all day.
Right.
Because, it's enclosed and it's out of the sun and so forth. So I really believe that, we definitely need, I don't know if I'll see one in my lifetime, but I hope we will, because, I mean, in speaking to the new minister about a year ago or so, he said that he wanted to definitely see that come true. So I'll hold him to that. I hope that, we will see. I know a lot of things have happened since that, right? With Corona and what's not. But if we get a facility, I can tell you, and if once I'm around, right, I am not as mobile as I used to be, but I'll assist. Mm-hmm. I don't have to be in the top, the head of it or whatnot, but my thing is to assist and see that, things happen.
Yeah, for sure. I think it is, I think it's way past Drew.
It's way past. Listen, I've seen several plans from several sports ministers. Like I told you, I'm involved in this thing since 1980, so, I've passed several different sports ministers, We have had plans drawn and plans here and plans there. But nobody could draw a plan because a man could tell you want to paint the sky and you draw a plan to paint it, but this is how we're going to get it done.
Right, exactly.
Right, so we need to get that. If we get that going, I think it will all go well for the sport of basketball. Believe me, and I own for the day. I yearn for the day when I can see that facility, out there. Whether it's government do it or it's funded by somewhere, but somebody have to take it and deal with it.
It's needed and it's overdue for sure. I totally agree.
Definitely needed.
I totally agree. And so we hope to see that happen. But I mean, Barman, it's been a real pleasure. Any last words you want to say before?
Well, I told you about my something I'm gonna say about the community involvement. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've been involved in so much things. A lot of folks out there know that I was you see the Miss Caribbean Teenage. I was the first chairman for that show.
Oh wow!
Right, that's
pageant.
Yeah, man. I tell you, we needed another half an hour.
That's a long time. A lot of things I've been involved in. Right. I mean, I remember in the days of really community development, and so I've represented this country along with some other folks on a Commonwealth Youth Exchange program to England. Mm-hmm. So I've been around. The country have been good to me in that sense, in terms of I out there and I always remember that with Melvin Edwards and Bridgewater at the youth and sports department was then, and they really helped because until you get a lot of training programs, leadership development. I mean, a lot of stuff. I've been to Antigua and training courses and so forth. So I'm just giving back. Like I say, I'm not as mobile as I used to be, but I still have the knowledge.
For sure.
And I hope they give you your flowers while you're here. I hope they continue to realize that you were so necessary and influential in what we deem right now the culture, especially with the programs that you help to develop and push forward. So I really, really hope that they give you your flowers while you're here and not wait until the end.
Well, like I said, my flowers is seeing people succeed, young people especially. I want to live with that, I like to see people succeed. I mean, I've put a lot of my personal things on the back burner and so forth, just in assisting people. I mean, even though I'm home not working currently and so forth, I still want to see people. And any way I can help, I will at any time. It doesn't, I am not out there looking for it to say, well, boy, we're gonna pay this and pay that, because most of my life I've been community self-help thing, doing it for free, labor of love.
Right, and I mean, I really hope that more of us look at your example and model it.
We need that. Believe me. Another time comes, but we need people who do things, and you do it because you're committed. Commitment with a capital C.
Right.
I agree. Couldn't say it any better.
And I could hear the passion in your speech, not only for basketball but just for community and youth development.
I'm telling you, because listen, again, I don't want to go with that, but sometimes you have youngsters coming around. You got to know them. You got to know their family, because you might be training a youngster. You don't know if you had a meal for the day.
Right, exactly.
And some coaches come run.
Right.
You got to know the family to know these youngsters living. It's a whole. I don't. Anyway.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from,
and
man.
We definitely hope to have you back, because we have so much more to talk about.
Yeah, man. Anytime, once the time is there, I'll always be available once the time is there.
All right, man. I appreciate it so much. But guys, there you have it. We had a great interview